last week I had mentioned that none of the top 15 lightweights, which is the marquee division in the UFC, were booked for a fight. Since then, Drew Dober and Hanato Moicano has been booked. I want to say they're at like 13 and 15 or something like that, but we still have got a wide open playing field here. So, we had to get together, cook up some matchups, decide what we want to see happen in the lightweight division over the next 6 months, I guess you could say. So you want to kick it off for us, Dimes, with your title fight? We also got some graphics, so bear with us in case I mess those up.
Yeah, let's get the show started. My title fight is Islam versus Charles. I think that's the one they're going to do. It's the one they originally wanted. I don't think anyone else gets a chance next unless it's Charles, because just the way he went out and they wanted that fight. So he did nothing wrong. He was just injured. So I think we need to get that one out the way. Let Islam win that one, then let's get these next guys some looks.
Keep it moving.
My second fight, I like this guy in the lightweight division. We've talked about him. Benoit Saint Denis. I like him versus Beneil Dariush. I still like Dariush in the lightweight division. He's had some tough losses. He has some tough matchups. Like we talk about all the time, like there's always a guy in the division that's like a test. I think that Dariush is a great test for Saint Denis. It'll show him where he's at. If he can get a win versus Dariush, he puts himself in title contention or for a title eliminator. I think if he wins this one, you look at this guy like, all right, his next fight needs to be for a title eliminator, or he needs to fight inside the top 5. 13-1, coming off a big win in Madison Square Garden. That matters.
Real.
Yeah, so yeah, let's go Saint Denis versus Dariush. Our third fight, we're gonna go. I'm gonna go Arman Stardyukian, and I like him versus either Justin Gaethje or Dustin Poirier.
I put Dustin on there for the graphic, but I got you.
Yeah. I don't think Dustin takes this fight. I think Justin's more likely to take it than Dustin. But again, we talk about this all the time. Like at some point, these guys like Dustin, Justin, like Chandler, you got to get out of there. You're just clogging the lane. So, I mean, it's either you fight these guys or you just don't. And you just like, how long can we just keep them 2, 3, 4? Like you can't just keep doing that.
Just a big man standing on the block down there, not looking to score, just taking up space so no one can drive, huh?
So, yeah, give me Armand to fight one of them, and same situation as Saint Denis. I think if Armand beats them, Armand might beat them. He's probably calling for a title.
I think he's one away right now. Has to be.
Yeah, so I like that for Sarayuki, and hopefully one of those guys can get convinced to fight him. Our fourth matchup, we're gonna go Dan Hooker versus Matthias Gamrot. Hooker's had some injury issues. But again, I think good spot here for Gamrot. He beats Dan Hooker. He puts himself in the top 6, top 7. Big for him there. And that's just, I think it's a good matchup here. I think Dan Hooker is not getting any younger. He's kind of running out of time. You can see the more injuries he's had. But yeah, I think it's time for him to go all in. You beat Gamrot, you call for a big time fight, and then maybe you're 1 fight for a title. So I like good spots for both of them there. So that's why I like that matchup.
I like that too.
My last fight I'm gonna go here is Jalen Turner versus Matt the Steamroller Favola.
Oh, he a banger.
2 super exciting guys. Both kind of in the same spot. Not good enough to be in the top 5, top 7, but they're on the outside looking in. So I think they can put on a classic, and I think either way this fight ends, it's in a thriller. So I think you put this fight 3rd, 4th on a pay-per-view card. I think it sells. Just a banger. Both these guys fight exciting styles, so I like to see this here.
That boosts that boosts any pay-per-view they're on for sure. Those are both, I wouldn't say they're like needle movers yet, but every single diehard fan is going to get up to watch those guys fight every single time.
I agree.
I like those, bro. Imagine if we just see all these announced in the next the next month or two. They've got to be cooking these up. They're having the same conversations we are right now, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll run through mine real quick. I did them differently for the most part, but some of your matchups were, just they made too much sense, such as the first one, the title fight. I was coming on here last week saying that maybe Charles and Saryukian would have to fight to earn that title shot, but you kind of talked some sense into me. Charles didn't really do anything to lose it. You can't knock him for getting hurt like that. So I also have Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira for the title. Maybe UFC 300. I'm not really sure yet. Kind of seems like that is the next one that's not booked if Conor doesn't get on there. If he was Conor's co-main, that would be the funniest thing in the world. Conor would not let him hear the end of it in the presser. And then for my second fight, I had a title eliminator here, just a surefire winner gets the title shot. I kind of stole this one from you a little bit, but Justin Gaethje versus Arman Tsarukyan. Both of these guys have an argument for a title shot right now, but neither of their arguments are like super convincing, I would say, compared to Charles. But if Tsarukyan beats Gaethje, or if Gaethje beats Tsarukyan, there's no way that you can deny that for the next title shot. You have them fight the winner of Oliveira and Islam, most likely Islam, and then we've got the division rolling again. And then this one's a little out there. I've got a couple that are a little out there, but this first fight, it's a rematch. But this first fight was one of the most exciting fights we've seen in the last 5 years. I think it was in the last 5 years, but I got Dustin Poirier taking on Dan Hooker in the rematch. Poirier, he says that he doesn't want to fight anyone. He only wants fights that excite him. I think this is a fight that he would take.
I looked at that. I'm gonna lie.
I mean, it's a big jump up in Hooker for the rankings, but at the same time, Poirier's lost 2 of his last 3, I believe. Lost to Charles, and then beat Chandler, and then lost to Gaethje, right? So, I mean, he can't really be saying he wants to fight up anymore. He's got to fight down eventually, and this is a guy where you're fighting down, but it's still a huge name that you could put as a co-main, and no one's mad about it. They were saying they wanted Dustin to main event a fight night against Beneil, so if they're offering him stuff like that, I think this is a step up, like money-making wise.
Yeah.
And Hooker doesn't say no. He wants to get that one back. First fight may have taken years off of his life/career, but I mean, hey man, who would not want to see that again? And you see both their ages here, 34, 33. Let's make some more memorable fights that fans are going to remember for the rest of their lives. Come on. And then for my next fight, I had a matchup between two guys that are kind of right on the fringe. Got Gamrot versus Benoit Saint Denis. I had Saint Denis fighting up to Gamrot. I think the winner of that automatically just kind of catapults him into that Poirier, Gaethje, Saryukian range.
Yeah.
It's weird because Gamrot beat Saryukian, but lost to Beneil. Saryukian beat Beneil, so now they're kind of even again, or Saryukian's above him. But yeah, man, Saint Denis, that's my guy that I'm the most excited for at that lightweight division. You see, he's 27 years old. Everyone else on this list besides Turner has been over 30.
Yeah.
But I think Benoit has got next, bro. If there was one guy on this list that isn't like one fight away from the title that I would predict to be a future champ, it would definitely be Saint Denis, bro. Even though he's French, I am high on this guy. Him and Wemby are the two that are bringing the French back for me. And then, I'm not going to lie, I got a little disrespectful to our friend Beneil here. My guys, Wade and Sauce aren't going to like me for this one, but I put Beneil up against Grant Dawson. Crazy, right? Grant Dawson.
Why is Grant Dawson the guy to get that?
So I was looking at the rankings. None of the other fights really made that much sense to me at the moment, just given what's happened. And I feel like Dawson, right up until he lost to Bobby Green, he was going to be fighting guys that are in this ranking. And Beneil, I mean, he's lost 2 in a row. It seems like his chin's starting to go a little bit. So let's give him a get-right fight. And I think stylistically, both fighters would like themselves in this just because they're both more grappling-based. And them grapplers, they never think they're a worse grappler than the other guy. So Let's make Beneil Dariush versus Grant Dawson here. You either get Grant Dawson in the rankings or you get Beneil out of there with his 3rd loss in a row, and then I think Beneil could go win $1 million in PFL. I don't think that's a bad road for him at the moment.
Okay. Respect.
So, that is that.